What up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Barbell Brigade Talk Show. We got Silent Mike, we got Nadim, and today we got the answers for everyone. The question that everyone wants to know, what is the best diet in the world? And we have the answer for you right here, so stay tuned. What is the best diet?
Atkins.
Atkins, for reals?
My brother did that Atkins diet when I think he was morbidly obese, when he was like 12. And we actually...
He was 12 and morbidly obese?
Yeah, I think he still is. He's like 28
Hey,
now.
that's fucked up.
When his brother was an athlete, he was 330 pounds.
Yeah.
So he's
yeah,
pretty
but
big.
some dudes are just thick.
Yeah, I mean, I think realistically, like, I don't see myself ever being, I'm like 240 right now. I can't be 180. Like, my body frame and stuff like that, I'm built different, as the doctor told me.
I'm him.
But,
I got a dog in me.
He did the Atkins diet, I think, which is kind of just keto.
What exactly is
Yeah.
Atkins? Is it just protein only, or how does that work?
It's high fat. Like, they even have Atkins bars everywhere, and but it's like almost like giving yourself points. Like, they track everything in points, and like you have to add things up, but it's restrictive almost in a sense.
I think Bart is right, though. I might be wrong, but I think it is a higher protein keto.
Maybe. Yeah.
That's why I don't
But
call
isn't
it
keto already kind of high protein, or no?
Keto
I mean,
traditionally is
high fat.
75. Yeah, 70
it's
to
high
75. The new science, like if you're staying up to date like I do, they do want higher protein. But joking around, the Atkins was pretty cool for him. He did lose a lot of weight as a kid. But I think it was just, hey, stop eating like a fatso.
Why are you eating so many Cheetos?
Yeah. Yeah.
I know you're a hater, Mike. Which diets do you actually like? Which
You
ones
want me to
don't
go
you
in
like?
right now?
Well, before you go in, because I can see you're about to rev the
No,
fuck up.
I'm about to ring.
All right. So, do you even believe with the traditional statement, which is
No.
the diet that works the best is the diet that's the best, or the diet that
Or
the
that you
best
can
is the one
stick
that
to.
works? Yeah, the one that sticks to.
The one you stick to.
Do you believe in that or no?
I guess if you want to just blanket statement some shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what the internet's for.
I would say the issue I have is like the conversation between like diet and how we're going to define that. Is it like the food we eat? That's what I tend to call a diet. Or are we talking about like cutting, like losing weight?
Are
Right.
you about to go down the road of like,
Being
is
intelligent?
food a molecule?
Yeah.
No. But like little things like, are we talking about diet like losing weight? Or are we talking about like diet for performance, nutrition for performance? So like I like to talk in like nutritional strategies.
Oh,
And my big statement, I won't rev too hard too early.
yeah.
But if your diet or your training philosophy has a name, you're being sold. You're being marketed to.
You think so?
I know so.
Why do you think that?
Because Atkins was a doctor that probably sold you billions of dollars worth of books, programs, and he has his own bars.
Yeah.
But when you go on his website, there's so many testimonials. They all love him.
Yeah, because they're paid testimonials.
And I was totally kidding about that. But
And just because you're sold a training program, a name, doesn't mean it's bad. But you have to know that, right? When you're so about P90X, when you're so about CrossFit, that's because it's branding and marketing that got you.
are
It
you
wasn't
saying
a
Atkins
secret
is
workout.
like a name, but compared to like if it fits your macros, is that like a brand? Or
No.
Just following macros.
Yeah.
Or what about
'Cause
just keto?
Keto, people have obviously marketed around it, but keto became a thing for epilepsy. That's why keto was founded. It was founded to help some epilepsy, and I believe it still does. I'm not a doctor, don't take any medical advice here, but and I think all these things do have applications, which goes, I guess, if we want a blanket statement, the diet you can stick to is best. But joking aside, yeah, when you use the term diet, it typically means just like what you eat. So if we're talking about like what is the best fat loss protocol,
I see, yeah. Because
You know
diet
what I
can
mean?
mean get stronger. It can mean get heavier. It
Yep.
can mean get lighter,
Right.
get faster,
right? And
get
my-
healthier.
So what's the best diet for you? Is it just following macros?
For me, as Bart Kwan, or in
Yeah.
general?
For you and what you've seen in general?
For me, because I think my journey is usually my natural eating tendency makes me big because I fucking love cookies and cake and shit like that. So usually when I get on a diet, it's to bring it back down, like bring it back down. So for me, tracking macros is probably the easiest for me. But the way that I track macros is, I think, different than the traditional way, because I think for most people that are beginners who aren't too in tune with their body, like they usually have pretty set macros, and most coaches, they just want you to just do the same thing for a month. If you could just do the same thing 30 days, then we'll start adding like other little variables.
Yeah, we got data to build up on.
Exactly.
That. We got consistency.
So for me, I almost probably bounce in between, because I kind of like do a intuitive version of macro tracking. Like I actually track it on my phone, but I almost do a a bounce back and forth between almost like keto days and then almost like high carb days.
Yeah, because some days when we go out, you don't get carbs. Like you got steak and eggs the other day.
Yeah. So like yesterday, for example, we went to go eat after JK News, and based off what I ate, like yesterday I was just like a free for all, I don't really give a fuck day, but I am mentally tracking what I'm gonna eat. So today, after today's lunch, I'll probably have a protein shake and I'll eat no more. Because I'll know I hit my protein goal, all the crazy fat and carbs from Chinese food, if I spread it over 2 days, I still stay within the caloric restriction. So I kind of do that. And then in general, like let's say if I know I'm gonna have a heavy squat or heavy deadlift day, I'll be a high carb day the day before. But then that day, because I did high carbs, then I'll almost have 0 carbs the next day.
I think one of the bigger things, and like marketing and to sell you guys stuff and to build all this stuff is to let these names out. But what I'm huge on is building habits. And obviously, like we're gym rats, and dieting is still hard for us, right? Like diet. So imagine someone that's not a gym rat, not in the industry, doesn't build their own schedule. Now it's even harder. So I literally just talk about building habits and building routine, whether it's with a client or even for myself. Like when I just lost like 65 pounds, like first rule I made for a month, again, going to kind of like a 4-week rule and block and training, I was just like, all right, I'm not going to DoorDash. And that was my only rule.
Yeah.
That was my only rule. And I started losing some weight. All right, I'm going to hit the gym twice a week. That was my only rule. I literally just lifted twice a week. And then I was like, okay, now let's get 3 square meals a day. And I was like, all right, that's it. So now the next month, no DoorDash, hit the gym twice a week because those habits are already built after those 4 weeks. Now I'm going to add another layer and then another layer. And then when I started to get a little bit leaner and leaner and leaner, then I started tracking my food meticulously. And you got to build into those habits. If you take someone that's been eating Cheetos and shit all day, and now you're like, hey, measure every gram of rice you're about to eat, of course they're going to fail. Yeah. Right? Of course you're taking.
That's even how I coach like gen population people. Like for example, like let's say like Gio's family who aren't into fitness. I'll start off with, hey, for this month, just no sugary drinks. Because I think when you try to like give them macros or whatever, like it's too hard. It's like too many like obstacles. And I see they go, oh, cool, I lost 10 pounds just by not having orange juice or Coke. Cool. The next time around, when you go to like Marie Callender's or whatever, swap your carb
so
out.
random.
Swap your carb out for a salad.
Yeah.
Right? So no more cornbread with butter. Do a salad. And just slowly, without even having to do macros, you slowly get them on track. And I think once they're about 2-3 months in and they can have the habit, then you're like, all right, now you really got to dial it in. You're going to have to download this app.
I know it's like a lot of people like, they're talking about mental health and like restrictive eating and stuff, but I do enjoy restricting some stuff that are just purely, and again, it goes into, oh, nothing's bad for you, right? But if you're mostly consuming a shit ton of soda every day, cutting that out would be a huge difference and probably a benefit to your life.
Yeah, it's maybe not bad for you, but it ain't good for you.
It ain't good for you, yeah. For me, and I don't recommend it for anyone else, but I always love doing keto. Like keto for me, it gets me, because like if I'm doing macros and I can't eat one Oreo, then I'll eat that one Oreo and then I'll feel bad and be like, fuck, I fucked up my diet and just keep eating more. But
even though if it fits in your calories per day?
Even if it fits in my calories per
like
day
that.
and I only eat that one, I still feel bad because I feel like it's a bad food.
Like it's a
even though I
cheat
know
food
it's
or
not.
something.
Yeah.
I see.
Nutrition's so dogmatic, like religion. So like people always go to extremes and then find out whatever works for her, which even how you just spoke was so good. Like people say like, whatever I do, now the world's got to do it. It's going to be best. And so you get these bouncing going everywhere where even if it fits your macros, even though scientifically and that works. Yeah. But I'm like you. So even though I'm tracking and I eat freely and a lot more flexible, I can't have ice cream in my house because I can't measure a scoop of ice cream. Bro, I'm eating the whole gallon. Like there's just no way. So then when I'm dieting or I want to get lean,
You just go, I don't eat ice cream.
I'm just not eating ice cream, man. Is that gonna give me an eating disorder? I don't know. I'm not a food therapist, but like we're just not gonna eat ice cream because I'd rather have abs right now.
You look like you have an eating disorder.
I got a lot of disorders. I don't know if eating is one of them. Another blanket rule I have, like this big habits one is a big one for mine. If you're the marketing thing, if you have a name. The other really big one is your plan and your diet and your workout program only need to be as strict as your goals are. If you want to drop a few, stop going to Starbucks. If you want to step on stage, we're gonna have to measure every gram. Like that's just how it goes. If you want to look pretty good, if you don't want, okay, we can go 3 or 4 times to the gym. We can just eat some protein. You're gonna look pretty good. And obviously genetics and other things play a role in there, but those are kind of the 3 big rules that kind of drive my philosophy to teach the folks.
What are some of the other things you like about keto, Nets?
Keto, I feel like for my body, I can eat pretty much whatever I want in terms of like choosing the fattier cuts of meat, choosing whatever like sauces and stuff I want to add on top of it.
So the stuff that you're more inclined to eat anyways.
Yeah, and then my body handles it really well. Plus, there's so many like keto options where it's like, if I'm getting like, everyone wanted to do Halo Top ice cream when it first came out, but it's just milk and ice.
It's
you know?
cocoa ice.
Yeah, it's not that good, but like
The
my
new
keto
ones,
stuff,
the new
like,
ones are pretty good.
They are kind
oh,
of
yeah, they start making it creamier, but then like the keto ice creams and keto options, I can look at the ingredients and know it's only like maybe 5 or 4 ingredients. Everything is already like gluten-free, just by nature, it has to be. And then the meat sources I get, it kind of made me fall into this pattern of looking for ingredients always on the back instead of just looking at just the macros. So that's why I like it. I also feel great. I lose weight really quick, and I'll probably continue this until I get a certain point that I'm like, okay, I can switch this. And if I do want to go back on like a regular like macro-based diet, even though I track macros, I would still then be able to switch it. But it kind of gave me that jump start to a healthier lifestyle.
It also just
Like-
makes you eat foods that you just like, it's really hard to overeat.
Yeah.
You ain't gonna eat 3 pounds of ribeye, even though ribeye is one of my favorite foods on the planet.
Yeah.
You just can't.
I'm super satiated, and it's extreme. It's probably one of the most extreme restrictive diets.
Yeah, because entirely just carbs, sugars, anything of that nature is just gone.
Completely gone. So when I walk into like a grocery store, 99% of the grocery store I can't eat. Like the whole,
But that also helps keep you on track, is what you're saying, because you're not exploring and like
Yeah.
looking at things that
I
you might
can't
indulge in.
Postmates because everything is carbs. There's like only 3 keto options on Postmates, and they suck. And I think even if you're just kind of like you said, cutting out all Postmates or DoorDash or whatever, if you're cooking for yourself at home, it's almost hard not to make it healthy.
Yeah, you're gonna do way better.
Yeah, because it's like even when you're adding a stick of butter or like a little piece of butter to it, that's just a little piece of butter. That's fine. But restaurants don't give a fuck. They'll put a whole stick of butter in a serving because they're just trying to make the flavor. But when you're really cooking for yourself, it's obviously the best option.
I'm sure somewhere in this conversation we had answered exactly what is the best diet in the
On
world.
the head, dude.
And you probably have to watch it a couple times to see. But if you guys had a diet that you guys felt like was super effective for you guys for any specific purpose, could be weight loss or getting jacked or getting faster or getting stronger, put them in the comments below and we'll talk about it next time.
Trend bologna sandwiches.